Hi everyone, I am Soumya. Today I am going to explain the topic public key cryptography. So, what is mean by public key cryptography? The public key cryptography is also called as an asymmetric key cryptography. We have two types of cryptography, symmetric key cryptography and asymmetric key cryptography. Symmetric key cryptography means in symmetric key cryptography we use only one key. In symmetric key cryptography we use only one key for encryption and decryption. Okay, in symmetric key cryptography we use only one key both for encryption and decryption. While in asymmetric key cryptography we use two keys. One key is used for encryption and different key is used for decryption. Okay, then the public key cryptography has 6 ingredients. The 6 ingredients, let's see what are the 6 ingredients in a public key encryption. First one is a plain text encryption algorithm, public or private keys, and the decryption algorithm and the cipher text. These are the 6 ingredients used in a public key encryption scheme. Okay, let's understand one by one. What is mean by a plain text? A plain text, this is a readable message or a data that is fed into the algorithm as a input. Means plain text means it's a original message which must be transmitted over the network. So this plain text is fed into the encryption algorithm as an input. Okay, the second ingredient is what? An encryption algorithm. Encryption algorithm performs various transformation on the plain text to form a cipher text. Getting? So encryption algorithm is what? The encryption algorithm performs in some various transformation on the plain text to form the cipher text. So next ingredient is public and private keys. Okay, this is a pair of keys that have been selected so that one is used for encryption and the other key is used for decryption. As I already told that in public key cryptography we use two keys. One is used for encryption and other key is used for decryption. The next ingredient is cipher text. The cipher text is a scrambled or converted message produced as output of the encryption algorithm, which means the encryption algorithm performs various transformation on the plain text and it produces a cipher text. It is a converted message or a scrambled message produced as an output of the encryption algorithm. Then the last ingredient is what? Decryption algorithm. In decryption, this algorithm accepts cipher text and the key as an input and produces the original plain text. Getting right? In decryption, what is done? The algorithm accepts the cipher text and the key and produces the original plain text. So let's understand what is public, how we done the encryption. So this public key encryption, this is done in two ways. That is encryption with a public key and the second method is encryption with the private keys. So first is what? Encryption with the public key. So in encryption with public key, the first step is what? In the first step, each user generates a pair of keys to be used for the encryption and decryption of a message. Okay, in the first step what happens? Each user generates a pair of keys to be used for encryption and decryption of message. In the second step, each user places one of the two keys in a public key register. Okay, in the first step what happens? Each user generates a pair of keys. Each user generates pair of keys. Okay, in the second step, each user places one of the two key in a public register. In the second step, what happens? Each user places one of the two keys in a public register. Okay, in a public register. So, in the second step, each user places one of two key in a public register. This will become the public key, and the companion key will become the private key. Okay, in the third step, what happens? If a Bob wishes to send a confidential message to Alice, okay, if Bob wishes to send a confidential message to Alice, then Bob encrypts the message using Alice's public key. Okay, this is a Bob's public key ring, means the Bob having several public keys of different users. Okay, if the Bob wishes to send a confidential message to Alice, then Bob encrypts the plain text X using Alice's public key, that is PUA. Then when an Alice receives this message, when an Alice receives this message, she decrypts it using her own private key. Okay, when a Bob encrypt a message using Alice's public key and it is transmitted over the network, while after receiving this encrypted message, if the Alice receives this message, then she decrypts this message using her own private key, that is PRA. Okay, private key, and can obtain the original plain text. Okay, this is encryption with the public key. In the second method is what? Encryption with the private key. In the encryption with the private key, so first the plain text is fed into the encryption algorithm. In this case Bob is sending a message, confidential message to Alice. Okay, in this case what happens? The plain text is encrypted using encryption algorithm and Bob's private key, and after encryption it is transmitted. We'll get the cipher text, that is y is equal to encryption of Bob's private key and the plain text, and it is transmitted over the network. After receiving the Alice receives this message, then Alice decrypts this message using Bob's public key PUB and the decryption algorithm. So we'll get a plain text X is equal to decryption of Bob's public key and the cipher text Y. Okay, this is a public key encryption. Okay, got it?